Well, welcome back to another episode of the Perry Homes Podcast. I'm Trevor Taylor, your host, the marketing director here at Perry Homes, and here with my amazing co-host, Steve Peterson, president of Perry Homes.
Thank you, Trevor.
And we have an incredible guest today, Jeannie McIntyre. Right?
Thank you for having me.
We're excited to have you on.
Jeannie's kind of a rock star. We're kind of like
I'm a little shell shocked.
Fan struck.
Yeah. No, we're excited to have you on here. Jeannie's one of our sales agents, real estate sales agents, and sells out in Tooele and now in West Jordan.
Yep, in Bingham
So,
Heights.
to start off, would you mind just telling us a little bit about who Jeannie McIntyre
Jeannie McIntyre is. So I'm born and raised in Tooele County.
Nice. Love it.
I love it. Yeah. So, Forever and Forever in Tooele it was my school song.
That's
awesome.
good stuff.
Someday I'll get out of there. But I live in Stansbury Park. I've been married for 35 years, and we have 2 daughters.
So great.
Great, yep. And I have a 2-year-old grandson.
Awesome.
And a granddaughter making her debate.
She's going to come out and be a debater. Yeah.
Making her way any day.
That's exciting.
Yeah, she'll be here any day, so
Awesome.
fun.
Is our grandkids the greatest
They're the
thing
greatest.
ever?
They are
I've
the
got
greatest.
one grandson that's 3, and he's running around. When I walk in, like he can recognize me now as Grandpa. So he's like, Grandpa. I'm just like, oh, you are my fave.
And
Yeah.
I'm Gigi, so.
Oh,
that's
how
cute.
cool is that?
And he's starting to say, I didn't, sometimes you don't know what they're going to call you, but I'm Gigi, and it's so cute because now he's starting to say Gigi, and it's
So
That's
great.
cute.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
fun.
it.
My parents always told me that being a grandparent is way better than
Yeah.
being a parent. So,
I 100% agree with that.
but
Yeah.
my mom always wanted our kids to call her Your Majesty.
That's hilarious.
and if she were still here, they probably
probably
would.
would.
They probably would call her Your Majesty.
that's good
That's
stuff.
exciting.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I've had my real estate license for 22 years.
Wow.
Existing sales,
great.
and then I started working with Perry Homes about 11 years ago.
That's right. You've been here quite a while.
Been here a while.
Yeah. So what led you to Perry Homes?
I knew there was a new community that they were working on called the Reserve in Stansbury Park, and I had worked several outside transactions with a realtor named Wendy, and Wendy's awesome, and she was kind of tired of driving out to Tooele County, and she says to Jeannie, would you want to come work for Perry Homes? And I was tired of the existing market. I was tired of feeling like I was a tour guide going into homes, and
hard.
people just love to look at homes, and so I need a change. So I went and had an interview with Jeff and Brandon, and I was hired. And when I was first hired, the Reserve wasn't ready, but so I sat at a model home up in Loma Vista, and they had just a few lots up there. And then when the Reserve opened, it was 2016, and it's kind of bittersweet because we're closing the Reserve.
I was going to say you've been here from the
yeah,
beginning
I did the
to the
whole
end.
yeah, and so that whole little community's just been my little baby. I kind of feel like, and I've met so many wonderful people, and so now it's kind of sad to leave it, but
Hey, let me ask you this. I get this way after we build a community and it's done, and I drive through it at the end, and I see kids out playing basketball, and people just I'm like, oh my gosh, we built homes, but when it's a community that's done, what's your feeling when you drive through like this, like the Reserve, and it's done?
it's done. I mean, it's beautiful. And the homeowners, most of them take such pride in their home, and that's
Yep.
nice to see.
Yeah.
There's a few homes that have sold, and it was sad to see them go, but it's exciting. And
Because
that
you
we
probably
built
know
this,
most
we
of the
did
people
this.
in there,
I do,
right?
I
That
do.
you've sold most of the
Because
homes in there.
I've kind of always worked as a team. So even when Gordon worked, it was Gordon and I. We were a team. Lorraine and I are a team. So I do get to know pretty much everybody, and
It's so great.
and create some special relationships.
Awesome.
I love it.
Awesome. And you're building, or you're selling quite a bit out in Tooele right now. We have a lot of different things going on
We
out
do
there.
have a
So
lot of different
tell
things
us a little
going on.
bit about that and the difference between a few of the places.
So we have we just listed some new twin homes, so that's a new product for us. And we have 18, I believe, but then we'll have more. So those will be new to sell, but I think it fits perfect for some of the buyers in Tooele County area, affordable.
Right.
We have two different subdivisions really. We have a subdivision that we try to stay under 500,000, and then we have a subdivision that we're over the probably 600 mark, and probably second-time home buyers, and
Right.
and then we have a really exciting area that's we're just releasing that's around the beautiful LDS temple,
Right.
and we'll have
right.
28 lots. I'm excited to sell those.
It's so great. We don't really have a name for those, so we just call them the temple lots.
Temple
I know
lots.
the temple lots.
They are, my God, I've been doing this for almost 30 years. They are some of the most beautiful lots. And I've never, right, we've done stuff close to temples before, but this is like, the temple is here. These lots are, like, you go out your front door,
And it's there.
it's like a beach house on the beach, right? It's right, you could throw a baseball, not, you don't have to throw a baseball at the
Please
temple,
don't.
but, yeah. Right, I mean, they're that close.
Yeah.
It's, you want to talk about those? And we've got a couple of houses
We have two spec
that are
homes
just getting
Right.
almost done.
that Lance has been building, a hickory and a hickory 2 and an alpine. So once those are done, we'll release those, and then we have 26 other lots that we'll build Series 2 homes on, and we've had so much interest in
Yes.
those lots, and it's sad there's only 28.
Yeah, matter of fact, I was just talking to Tyler, who is the division manager out there, and he's a little worried that the market is so strong for those that we're going to be tempted to burn through all of those in 6 months. We want that to last for a year,
Right.
Just because you're getting a ton of interest, on those.
In it.
Well, where's the market coming from for those? The interest.
You know, it's kind of mixed because when they had the temple open house, it brought so many people
Yeah.
from Salt Lake and even out of state, and so we saw a lot of those buyers and or people potentially interested. But we have several people from Tooele County that have lived in Tooele County up on the East Bench, and this is where they want to be.
Got
We
it.
have one guy who wants to be directly across, so he can look out his window every morning. I mean, he wants to be right there.
I love it.
So
So
That's
great.
exciting.
it is exciting.
Hey, before you jump into one,
Go for it.
let me just, you mentioned Lance out there, right? You're working with Lance,
Mm-hmm.
who's the superintendent. There's such an important relationship between the sales agents and we call them supers. Can you talk about that? You've got some really great guys out there about your relationship and how that works with those guys.
Lance has been amazing. He was the first superintendent that I worked with, and I actually met Lance when I was doing existing sales, and I brought buyers to Perry
Oh,
Home. I didn't work
so
for
you knew
Perry
him
Home.
before.
Okay.
So I met him as they were building the home and at the final walkthrough, and he's a great superintendent. I couldn't work for a better superintendent or work with a better superintendent. He cares. He's very OCD.
Yeah, in a good way,
Which
right?
is a good thing, yeah,
That makes him
Yes,
pay
yes.
attention to the details.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I think he's made my job working with Perry Homes
Yeah.
easy because we communicate well. There's no drama. He's there to answer my calls if I needed help. He's taught me a lot. I didn't know a lot about building when I started working for Perry Homes. More the existing side, but it's a great superintendent.
And he is kind of a cornerstone of our construction management. He's been here like 30 years. 28,
Yeah.
30 years. And when he talks about the other shoes, like, well, I train that guy, I train that guy, I train that guy. His footprint really is all over our company. And then we give him some of our most complicated homes. Those really we call them our luxury homes.
Right.
He's building those, and you really have a great team. You've got Tarek out there and Luis. Matter of fact, our next podcast
He's out there.
is with
Yeah.
Luis. You really
We
have
do
a
have a
great
great
team.
team.
Shout out to the construction boys in Tooele. You guys are killing it.
I mean, I'm sure I know all the superintendents are great, but I'm blessed to work with the ones that I work with, and like I said, we are a team out there. I mean, we as agents we've been a team, and I just feel like the superintendents that we have, we're just one great team, no drama, and we help each other figure things out, and they've got our back, we've got their back.
Love it. Love it.
It's nice to have that trust that you can
The
just
trust, yeah.
lean on each other for that, because you're both working toward the same goal.
We are.
And so it's nice to have that. We had Lorraine on here before and asked her. She lives in Stansbury as well. Live out in the Tooele County. I want to know more about Tooele, because there are a lot of people that don't want to leave, and they build another house in Tooele and they stay in Tooele, and it's a special place.
It's a special place.
So
It's a little hidden gem.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that and about that mindset of the people out in Tooele.
Well, the mindset of a lot of people on Tooele don't want to see the girls there.
Yeah, true.
They've kind of bought it as much as they can. And,
Right.
I think it's beautiful out there, and it's been exciting to grow up out there and to see the growth and to see the residential growth and now the commercial growth. When I grew up, you kind of knew everybody, and it's been wonderful selling a Perry home to people I know. It's been a great experience, and I just think Tooele there's the mountains. It's just quiet, still. It's only, what is this, Stedman's, Honda Stedman's, it's only, people think it's 300 miles out, but it's only 30 miles back. Have you ever heard that?
Oh,
I haven't.
that's a good
heard
Tooele
that.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, but it's beautiful out there. It's the farmland, in the reserve, you're kind of more in a little bit
Yeah.
rural area, the overlake community, the mountain views, the temple views, lake views. I just feel like it's a hidden gem that people have found now.
People are starting to find it.
I grew up small town Idaho, and when I drive out there, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like my hometown. So I really have some of these nostalgic feelings when I
Yeah.
go out there. Hey, speaking of which, they have this big, beautiful new high school.
Yes.
That's going
Desert
up.
Peak High School.
Can you, when I go out there, I'm like, is this like the Opera Center in Sydney? It really is this
beautiful.
stunning
It
building.
is a stunning building. It's probably the most beautiful high school that we have out there. We
Yeah.
have the Grantsville, we have Tooele, we have Stansbury, but this Desert
Maybe in
Peak-
all of Utah. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
It is. It is
Lone
a state
Peak
of
and
the
some
art.
of these some of the other ones that are new. This one is every bit the equal of any school that I've seen in Utah.
It is. The only thing I wish they would have built was a swimming pool. There's no
Oh shoot!
swimming pool.
Yeah,
So we only have one public pool for all of the
You still have to go swim in the lake.
or the lake, the Great Salt Lake, or the ponds in Stansbury.
Yeah.
that's good stuff.
Oh, that's exciting. I didn't prepare you for this question. This wasn't one that I.
Oh, here
so
we
I'm
go.
going to surprise you a
Yeah,
little bit.
pop
But
quiz. Boom.
just hearing you talk about the reserve and being there for so long through this whole time of building there, could you tell us about maybe one of the more special homes that you helped build, or a buyer that was really meant a lot, or even someone you knew that you sold a home to?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of special ones and a lot of cute little elderly people who will bring me lunch and bring me treats and text me little
that's
texts.
hilarious.
And so, but I do have one that's it's just a special place in my heart. So at the time he was building, Perry Homes had donated or had worked together with a company called Saks Cloth and Ashes. And were you?
Yep.
Okay. So for every homeowner that built and bought a home, Perry Homes donated a blanket to the homeless shelter in that buyer's name. And then they also gave the buyer a blanket. And it's so funny because every blanket that I teased Tyler because every blanket that he brought out, he never even looked at them. But when he'd open it and present it to that buyer, it fit like their style. And so that part was
That's
funny.
awesome.
But as Tyler was presenting the blanket to this homeowner, and telling him about it, and that we donate a blanket to the homeless shelter in their name, and then give him a blanket, and then we take it a step further, and inside the box there was a list of hygiene items that
Right.
we asked him to fill and then drop off at the nearest homeless shelter.
Oh, that's a cool deal.
So we looked up at Ken, and he was crying, and he was just touched, and he said, "I was homeless for several years of my life."
Oh my
And
gosh.
so he said to be able to be a homeowner and for you guys to have such an act of kindness and donate a blanket to the homeless shelter, he said, I'm touched. And that touched me. And
Sure.
I drive by his house, throughout the reserve when I'm going home or checking on things. And he takes care of it. The yard is beautiful. They're still there. They do things to improve it. So that was one that kind of just was special to me, to know that he's finally living the American dream. He's not homeless. He was able to build a home.
That's beautiful.
Oh my gosh,
Thank you.
that's a great story. If I can speak for Trevor and
Yes.
me, Trevor and I are in the office, and we kind of do things on a general basis. And one of the drawbacks of that is we don't get this personal connection with the homeowners. So thank you for sharing that. That is, we love to hear that.
Yeah.
Right? We ask that question often because it's that relationship of you taking a Ken or these other elderly couples that are like bringing you little lunch treats or something, right? Those relationships are critical
They are.
in this. What Trevor and I talk about often is could be the biggest purchase of someone's life
It
that
is,
they
yeah.
do 2 or 3 times maybe
yeah.
in their life, and you help guide them through that process.
Yes, and his wife was so cute because she came in for 2 years. Then when we opened the reserve, and she's like, "We are going to build a home. We are going to make this work." And
So great.
And she knew, she knew what she was building, and it was just, they were a great couple. But that, at the end, when we were doing the walkthrough and giving him the blanket, that was special.
That's really touching.
Thank you for sharing that. Our last question we ask to everyone that comes on the podcast: why should someone, in your opinion, buy a Perry home?
Oh, there's lots of reasons, and obviously the quality of the home.
And plus the agents are so great.
Agents are great. The superintendents are great. The quality and the care and the craftsmanship that goes into building the home. I think everybody building that home is a team, and they've just built a very well-built home. One of my favorite parts of after we build the home is the buyers. It used to be called the final walkthrough, and now it's a buyer orientation.
Yeah.
But again, when I didn't work for Perry Homes and I was an outside agent and sold a few of the homes, that was very impressive to me. We spend at the end when they're doing their final walkthrough, the subdivision leader, the superintendent, there's a painter there, and the amount of time that Lance and Louise spend with that buyer, taking them through their home, showing them, we go through every room, we talk about everything, they get to check everything, and it makes the buyer feel important, and that's one of my favorite processes.
I love it.
Process
So
at the
great.
end. But definitely a well-quality built home.
Awesome.
Love it.
Well, thanks, Jeannie. Thank you for being here with us today
You're
and
welcome.
sharing who you are, sharing Jeannie with us. We appreciate that. We love working with you. You've talked about everyone else in Tooele. You do an incredible job out
Thank
there
you.
too. So
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you. And for everyone watching, thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Perry Homes Podcast.